Exclusive interview with State Representative Joanna McClinton.
All of that and more right now on SUTV News. Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Haley Galaskas.
And I'm JD Durazio.
As part of Black History Month, WITF and PBS are excited to announce their new docuseries, Gospel. The new docuseries will explore the rich history of Black spirituality through sermon and song. Hosted by Henry Louis Gates Jr., this exclusive sneak preview will take place in the Sedia Union Building and will include a panelist of voices raised by the film and performances from Shippensburg University's Harmonic Voices of Truth Gospel Choir. This event will take place on Thursday, February 8th at 6:30 and is open to the public. Earlier this week, Shippensburg University held the 36th annual MLK March for Humanity, celebrating the life and legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Several chants were repeated by various organizations through MSA. Students marched from Old Main to the Sedia Union Building. Prior to the march, an introduction ceremony was held with notable speakers Kennedy Holt and President Patterson, along with Pennsylvania Speaker of the House, Joanna McClinton. McClinton is Pennsylvania's first woman to serve in that role. She was the first woman elected Democratic Caucus Chair and the first woman elected Democratic leader. Her speech ignited passion throughout the student body, leaving each student hopeful and motivated for progressive change. SUTV's Jada Lee had the chance to speak with McClinton regarding equality.
Hi, Speaker McClinton. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Jada. So glad to be here.
Thank you. I'm sure Shippensburg University is honored to have you. You are the first woman to be this Pennsylvania House Speaker. How does that make you feel?
It's really amazing. I'm very humbled and grateful for the opportunity to represent first my neighbors back home in Southwest, West Philly, and Lower Delaware County, and then to have earned the trust of my colleagues for them to vote me in as Speaker almost a year ago. It's at times still surreal, and most importantly, it's exciting to see how far we as women have come from not being able to vote, from being denied opportunities, to now being able to run the oldest legislative body in our nation.
Wow. Being the oldest legislative body in our nation and talking about breaking equality and things like that, what does equality mean to you?
So equality means a journey that our nation has been on since before it was even founded.
Right.
Equality means opportunities for everybody. It means accessing justice. It means not seeing the stop signs or the no, you're not welcome signs, but inclusive opportunities for everybody.
And Martin Luther King Day was also a big advocate for equality and inclusivity. What does Martin Luther King Day mean for you?
So for me, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Day means so much progress that's already been made, and also remembering that we have a lot of progress still to make.
Right.
Things that he fought for, preached for, marched and rallied for, that we have not achieved.
Right. And here we are today for Shippensburg University. We are at the MLK Day March, and we are so honored to have you. Thank you so much for your time, Speaker McClinton.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Just 2 days ago, and a mile and a half from our SUTV studio, police responded to a call of a house fire in the area. Let's send it over to SUTV's Carson Devitt, who has the details.
I am here at 300 Dwelling Court of Shippensburg, where firefighters say January 30th they had a report of a house fire around 5:49 p.m. As you can see behind me, this is the aftermath of that fire. However, SUTV's Frederick Hardman was live on the scene to get you pictures. As you can see, the main roadway here entering into the community was blocked off due to a large amount of crew and additional units being dispatched to the scene after possible entrapment was communicated. Firefighters were able to rescue the person trapped inside the burning building after entering through a window while crews worked to put out the fire. They were flown to a medical center in Maryland, while 12 other residents and a pet in the senior apartment community were evacuated to the development community room. The American Red Cross was able to help the other residents who had no place to go during the fire. Crews cleared the scene at 10:30 p.m. As of right now, the fire is still under investigation by the Shippensburg State Police Fire Marshal. With SUTV News, I'm Carson Devitt.
Nagle Hall residents were in for a late night last Thursday after a carbon monoxide leak was reported. At 11:45 p.m. on Thursday, January 25th, students were alerted with a message from a resident assistant on the loudspeaker, alerting them that they needed to evacuate the building. Not long after being evacuated to the quad between Seavers and Nagle Hall, students were advised to move to the recreation room of McLean Hall, where students had the chance to be checked out by medical personnel. Around midnight, firefighters began to inspect rooms. Luckily, no carbon monoxide was detected in student living spaces. However, there was carbon monoxide found in the boiler room. Around 1:35 a.m., students were allowed to enter their rooms again after the building was properly ventilated. Individuals have been working to figure out what caused these issues, which resulted in a series of fire alarms to go off on Tuesday. However, Resident Life told students that it was a false alarm and they were safe to return to their rooms. This all comes after other campus issues, like the power outage that affected Reiser Dining Hall on January 20th. Visit SUTV's media partner, The Slate, for more information about both of these events. A verdict has been reached in the defamation trial of former President Donald J. Trump, and it comes with a hefty cost. SUTV's Carson Devitt has more.
A federal jury in New York slapped former President Donald Trump with a multi-million-dollar verdict that rewards Jean Carroll nearly $84 million in damages for her defamation lawsuit. In 2019, Jean Carroll, former magazine columnist, accused Donald Trump in an article of sexually assaulting her in the 90s. Similar to previous sexual harassment cases involving former President Trump, he has denied Carroll's claims, calling her a liar and telling reporters, quote, "She was not my type." At last year's trial, Carroll's attorney Roberta Kaplan argued Trump's comments subjected her to threats via her social media and ruined her reputation. Carroll's attorney says Trump's audible comments and refusal to remain quiet during Carroll's testimony likely contributed to the jury's ruling. When asked what she was going to do with the money, Jean Carroll responded with this.
We're inspired to do not waste a penny of this and say maybe we can think about how we can restore women their rights. Use a little money for that.
Carroll's attorney Kaplan added that she is confident they will be able to collect the $83.3 million, saying Trump could either pay a bond or deposit the money in full until he appeals. With SUTV News, I'm Carson Devitt.
Coming up, we have your 9-day forecast, and we'll hear the latest news and entertainment.
Stick around. Rain, a little bit of snow today. Finally got some sunshine.
I know. I keep leaving the house in sweatpants in the morning. I come back, and I wish I wore shorts.
Well, I guess we're going to see what Adam Beam has to say, who has this week's weather. Adam?
Thanks, you guys. It is so great to be back for another semester of SUTV. My last semester here at SUTV. I'm so excited to see what it has in store for us. But before we get into that, let's take a look at what the next couple days of weather are going to look like for us here. Obviously, our good pal Puxatawny Phil is going to be deciding what the next 6 weeks are going to look like, but in the meantime, let's take a look at the forecast. Tonight, we're going to get a little bit of rain here, but the temperature isn't going to change too drastically for us here, so if you're planning on going out, just remember to bring an umbrella. Taking a look at tomorrow, we are going to get about the same. Things are going to be a little bit cloudier, but the chance of rain is very small, roughly around 8%. But now let's get into that exciting week ahead. If you take a look over here, you can see that the weekend is going to be quite nice. So if you want to go out, now is the time to do it. And just in case anyone was wondering who's going on the APB New York trip, don't worry, the weather is going to be nice in the Big Apple as well. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be seeing some pretty highs there with 46 on Saturday and a 51 there on Sunday. But looking at the week ahead, things are going to stay consistently warm. However, those nighttime temperatures are going to drop quite heavily. So make sure that you are enjoying the sun while you have it before bundling up for the nights ahead. Obviously, the end of the week there, Friday is going to be the highest temperatures we see next week with 55 degrees. However, the sun isn't going to be appearing too much as the week moves on. But like I said, tomorrow is Groundhog's Day, so it's ultimately up to Puxatawny Phil to see what the next 6 weeks here are going to look like. Again, hopefully we are dealt some good luck and things start warming up a little bit here as we move into February. Also, happy first day of Black History Month as well. But that is going to do it for weather this week. I'm Adam Beam. Now let's send it over for your SUTV Entertainment Report.
This year's awards season continues to celebrate the best films, music, and television of 2023. At the Golden Globes, films like Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Barbie won big. Hollywood stars like Cillian Murphy and Emma Stone won Globes for their performances. With the Academy Awards coming up in March, many have voiced their concerns online about the Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig snubs. Both the lead actress and director of the acclaimed Barbie were not nominated in their respective categories. Meanwhile, on the television side, shows like Succession, The Bear, and Beef swept at the Globes. At the Emmys, Better Call Saul made history at becoming the most Emmy-nominated show with not a single award in its 6-season run. With both the upcoming Grammys and the Academy Awards, we'll make sure to keep you covered on the news of this exciting awards season. Madonna is facing a lawsuit by her own fans. 2 fans that attended Madonna's recent New York City concert are suing the pop star for starting her concert over 2 hours late. In the suit, they claim the late start time caused them to be left stranded in the middle of the night with little to no public transportation available. They also claim the late start time affected their ability to work, take care of their families the following day. In a response, Madonna said, quote, "We intend to defend this case vigorously," end quote. In a response, the pop star icon also stated that the late start time was due to production issues that Madonna had no control over. This isn't the first time Madonna has been in hot water due to a late show time, as in 2019 she suffered a similar lawsuit from fans in Miami that were ultimately dismissed. Famous pop rap stars Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion have a growing feud after the release of Megan's new hit track, directly dissing Nicki's husband, Kenneth Petty, a registered sex offender. Nicki responds with her own diss track, Bigfoot, calling her out for having a ghostwriter and also having an affair with her best friend's partner. Nicki threatens to continue to release more songs about Megan to damage her career unless she apologizes for releasing Hiss. Late Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain's autopsy has been leaked, displaying gruesome information about his apparent suicide in his Seattle home 30 years ago. The documents were leaked on X by the case's private investigator with a post that included a link to access the files, which were sealed from public eye for almost 30 years. Officials denied comment on the legitimacy of the autopsy files, applying Washington state law, refraining from publicizing this sensitive information. Kurt Cobain was 27 years old at the time of his death, as he touched the lives of many during the Seattle grunge era. YouTube is losing one of its all-time greats. Matthew Patrick, better known as MatPat, the creator and owner of the Theorist channels, which consist of the game, film, food, and style theorists, is stepping down from his on-camera role. Patrick claimed that the channels will still operate just under new ownership from current members of his staff. Under Patrick's ownership, the Theorist channels have just under 43 million combined followers, racked up over 8 billion views. His decision follows a trend of many long-term creators retiring, such as Tom Scott. In his video titled, Goodbye Internet, Patrick claimed his decision was to spend more time with his wife and son. His life had always been work first for over a decade. I have been Alexander Haig, and this has been Entertainment.
Coming up in sports, the Shippensburg men's basketball team ties an all-time record.
Stay tuned right after these commercial messages.
The stage is set as the national champions of the National Football League will be decided in Las Vegas on the second Sunday of this month. The San Francisco 49ers have defeated the Detroit Lions to advance to the big game after an impressive comeback after being down by 17 points at half. The Brock Purdy-led 49ers will have a chance to win their franchise's 6th championship, tying an NFL record. On the AFC side, the scrappy Kansas City Chiefs put up a dominant defensive performance to beat the Baltimore Ravens 17-7. Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs will look to win their third championship in 6 seasons. The big game will broadcast on CBS with kickoff scheduled at 6:30. In the past month, in the middle of the NBA season, 3 major records were shattered in the span of only 2 weeks. In Atlanta at the State Farm Arena, where Luka Doncic scored an incredible 73 points on unbelievable efficiency and almost cracked a triple-double, as well as a big win over the Atlanta Hawks. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns, also known as Cat, had an impressive showing of his own, breaking an NBA record 44 points in the first half. Despite this impressive performance, the Timberwolves would lose to the Hornets and provide a bit of a controversy in the Wolves' locker room. Finally, at the Wells Fargo Center, Joel Embiid put up an unbelievable performance in a packed arena. The reigning MVP put up a franchise record of 70 points, continuing his dominating season and staking his claim for a potential back-to-back MVP season. With the NBA season approaching, the scoring numbers will presumably continue to rise and impressive performances will come. Jumping into the world of sports entertainment, I have the inside scoop on the WWE Netflix deal and an update on the lawsuit against former co-founder and chairman Vince McMahon. After being one of the longest-running weekly episodic sports television shows in history for over 31 years, WWE's flagship show, Raw, is moving exclusively to Netflix starting in 2025. Airing on the USA Network since 2005, this move will mark the first time since Raw's inception 31 years ago that the program will leave linear television. The deal between the WWE and Netflix will have the program on the platform for 10 years and is valued at more than $5 billion. This deal will also give Netflix the rights to stream WWE's award-winning documentaries and new upcoming projects. This deal continues a memorable couple of months business-wise for the WWE, as back in September, they officially merged with the UFC to form TKO Group Holdings. Also in the news, WWE co-founder and chairman Vince McMahon is being sued over alleged sexual misconduct accusations from a former WWE employee. In response, McMahon has denied the allegations against him in the lawsuit and has also decided to step down from his position as executive chairman on the TKO board of directors. In his resignation statement, McMahon said, in quote, "Out of respect for the WWE universe, the extraordinary TKO business and its board of directors and shareholders, partners and constituents, and all of the employees and superstars who helped make WWE into the global leader it is today, I have decided to resign from my executive chairmanship and the TKO board of directors effective immediately," end quote. For more information regarding the unfolding situation, check your national media outlets. For SUTV News, I'm Austin Briner. Shippensburg's men's basketball team set records last night in a big win against Cheney University. The Raiders put up an impressive 116 points against the Wolves, tying the school's scoring record. The team also hit a record 20 three-pointers, with special credit to Timmy Connors' 4 first-half threes. Ty Holsapple led the Raiders and set a career-high 20 points. Kyle Whippen and Donovan Hill also each earned a double-double. Ship will return to PSAC play at home on Saturday against Bloomsburg at 3 p.m. Shippensburg athletes spent their winter breaking and setting records. Field athlete Josh Herbster set a new school record in the weight throw event at the Golden Invitational. Herbster threw an impressive 63.8 inches and surpassed the previous set record from 2014 by 9 inches. Swimmer Micah Salvatore set an impressive stat during a dual meet against Edinburgh University. Salvatore swam a 4-minute, 6-second, 400-yard IM, breaking a 32-year-old pool record. That's all for sports this week. I'm Austin Briner, and now back to Haley and JD at the desk.
Coming up after the break, we're going to tell you all about tater tots.
Stay with us.
To be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
While tomorrow is Groundhog's Day, it's important to remember Friday is another holiday worth celebrating. Friday is all about the tots, the tater tots. These small potato cylinders were created in the 1950s from excess French fry pieces. The Oregon Frozen Food Company, which later became Ore-Ida, would feed the scraps to cattle, but they wanted another way to reduce the waste. So they formed these scraps and shreds into tasty bites and fried them. Today, Americans eat 3.5 billion tater tots per year. I'll tell you what, Haley, I love myself a good tater tot, but I'm more team French fry.
Yeah, you know, to each their own, but I think I'll keep the shoestrings.
Well, that's going to do it tonight for SUTV. I'm JD DeRazio.
And I'm Haley Galaskas. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, sutvnews.org, for all the latest info you need to know. We'll be back next week, but for now, good night.